Arrival of the Goliath, a single pulse of light so bright it outshone two suns, rippled across the violet sky above HFY Prime. In the Galactic Council's grand chamber, Speaker Zixer's 6 legs fluttered with alarm. For over 3 centuries, the Council had never summoned an emergency meeting for a threat until now. Sensors had detected an object of impossible scale hurtling from the outer rim, and every delegate struggled to grasp the reality of what was coming. Captain Jake Morrison stood on the vast bridge of the Goliath, humanity's Titan-class warship, and felt his heart pound like a war drum. From his vantage at the panoramic viewport, Earth hung as a pale blue dot fading behind them. Ahead lay the Kepler 442 system, where 12 alien civilizations thrived, and soon they would see humanity's greatest creation in full. Below the bridge's humming consoles, Chief Engineer Lisa Carter monitored the fusion reactors. "Reactor cores stable," she reported, her tone steady despite the enormity of their mission. 50,000 souls had trained for years to serve aboard the Goliath. Each of them carried humanity's hopes and fears into the unknown. Back in the council chamber, Galactic military advisor Quinder glared at the main holo display. The image projected a ship over 12 kilometers long, its dark plating studded with weapon ports. "This is no peaceful explorer," he rumbled. Delegates from the floating Alterans, armored Krathens, and many others exchanged frightened glances. On the Goliath's command deck, Communications Officer Danny Rodriguez tapped a headset. "Admiral Brooks is standing by," he said. "Admiral?" Helen Brooks appeared on the oversized holoscreen, her hair silver but eyes sharp. "Captain Morrison," she began, "this ship is our message to the galaxy. Proceed with caution, but be ready to fight if necessary." Jake nodded. Lieutenant Amy Chen plotted their hyperspace jump trajectory. 6 hours later, the Goliath would emerge at the edge of Kepler 442. Captain Morrison raised his voice. "All hands prepare for jump? Let's show them why humanity never surrenders." Blue energy crackled around the ship as hyperspace engines engaged, and the adventure began. The frozen Council, when the Goliath dropped from hyperspace, its arrival lit the void like a newborn star. Below, the Council world's sensor arrays went haywire. On the planet's surface, armies of drones recorded the colossal silhouette hanging in the sky. Then, across every holographic display in the chamber, the warship's message beacon activated. A calm, synthesized voice spoke. "We come in peace, but we are prepared." Silence fell. Alien delegates from 47 worlds stared upward, eyes wide. No one moved, no translator hummed. Confusion turned to panic when every screen froze along with every creature. The gathering became still as the ancient statues lining the plaza. Council Speaker Zixter clicked his mandibles in distress, but his limbs locked mid-gesture. Captain Morrison watched readings flicker on his bridge. "They've shut down?" he asked. Science Officer Ryan Phillips studied the sensors. "Their entire system just went offline. Biological and mechanical both frozen." Chief Engineer Carter frowned. "Could be an inhibitor field. Something is blocking motor functions across organic and synthetic forms." Back on HFY Prime, security. Droids tried to rouse delegates. Nothing. Bankers, diplomats, and warriors alike hung suspended in time. Galaxies of communication arrays, all dead silent. The weight of that silence pressed on every heart, regardless of species. Humanity's warship waited. No weapons fired. No signals responded. Captain Morrison tapped his comlink. "Admiral Brooks, we have a situation. The Council's delegates are immobile. We need clearance to deploy a recon team." The hollow screen shimmered as Admiral Brooks considered. At last she nodded. "Proceed with caution. First contact protocols still apply." A dozen Marines suited up for the descent. Equipped with field negation pulse guns and universal translators, they boarded the envoy shuttle. Below the great plaza lay empty of life, yet full of potential danger. As doors hissed open, the Goliath's crew took their first steps into history. Breaking the ice, Lieutenant Kate Sullivan led the human envoy onto the council plaza. The lavender marble floor was cracked in places where giant claws had once raked trenches. Now it lay undisturbed beneath frozen feet. Each alien figure stood like a memory captured at the moment fear gripped them. Sullivan's translator device rattled uselessly against her chest. Xenobiologist Dr. Ben Turner knelt beside a Tauran warrior, her armored girth unmoving. He scanned for vital signs. They're alive, he murmured. Metabolism's at near zero. Some kind of biochemical lock. Engineer Carter pulled a portable field probe from her pack. She attached it to the nearest translator cower. The device crackled and then went silent. Energy readings spiked when the Goliath arrived, Carter explained. They must have auto-activated a defense mechanism. Turner frowned. It's like they built a panic button that shuts down everything friend and foe alike. Sullivan polished her helmet glass. We need to disable it so we can talk. Carter, can you jam it? Carter's fingers flew over her tablet. She reconfigured the probe to emit a counter frequency. A low hum rose in the plaza. One by one, the frozen delegates twitched. Limbs uncurled, scales and feathers ruffled, mechanical servos whirred. Dixter blinked in surprise. With a rattling snap, he dropped to one knee startled. But alive? Sullivan let out a breath she didn't realize she'd been holding. They're coming back. From the shuttle's ramp, Marines raised rifles, but at Carter's wave, they lowered weapons. Now, negotiation could begin. The spark of understanding as council members regained movement. Confusion rippled through the chamber. Alien tongues barked and chirped. Sullivan raised her hand in greeting. We mean no harm, she said, voice calm in the universal translator's tone. Slowly, delegates listened. They saw no angry guns pointed at them, only humans. Standing with hands open, Zixter rose fully, every limb trembling with adrenaline. His voice echoed in the hush. Why did you trigger our defense? He asked, tentacles quivering. Captain Morrison stepped forward, silhouette immense against the sky. We didn't, he replied. Your system locked everything down when your sensors detected a power signature beyond your records. Ours just wanted to be sure you were safe. A murmur went through the assembled aliens. Quinder the Krathen frowned, plating dark with uncertainty. Safe? He grunted. Our instrument showed weapons arrays. Morrison nodded. Yes, we built ships to defend ourselves because in our history, neighbors sometimes attack. But we also built this one to protect, to explore, and to seek allies. Slowly, the council speaker extended a scaled hand. Morrison offered his palm. When they touched, cameras snapped a moment for both worlds. Engineers and scientists from each race began to speak at once, sharing rudimentary notes on technology, language, and culture. A new dawn within hours, the Goliath's cargo bays opened to reveal civilian modules, agriculture labs, medical clinics, and cultural exchange galleries. Alien delegates marveled as human archaeologists displayed Earth. Artifacts from ancient pottery to holographic novels. In return, the Council offered maps of their star routes and samples of exotic minerals. A joint task force formed to repair a nearby trade station damaged by solar flares. Krathen welders and human engineers worked side by side under twin suns, sparks flying in celebration rather than war. Children from both worlds laughed as drones delivered samples of unfamiliar fruits across the station's promenades at the signing ceremony. Admiral Brooks and Speaker Zixter inked a new treaty. It guaranteed mutual defense, open trade, and an annual council meeting aboard the Goliath. Cameras recorded the moment for planets across 12 star systems. As dusk fell over Kepler 42I, the Goliath's lights shimmered alongside alien cruisers at anchor. Crew and delegates gathered on the council plaza, sharing stories under two moons. Captain Morrison watched from the bridge's viewport and whispered, "Humanity's first contact, and they welcomed us." In that moment, the galaxy truly stood. Still, no longer in fear, but in wonder at what could be achieved when different worlds join hands.